Good afternoon. So, if you trade futures or you want to get into trading futures, but you're scared, you're worried, you got doubts, it's understandable. I know how it is. You look at charts, you look at trading charts, you look at news releases, you wonder about economic events, you're not sure how to manage things. Well, I built this app called Sita. Sita is my self-improving trading agent. I was sick of juggling 10 tools and still wondering and second guessing my entries and my exits and wondering, if this is going to work out. Every single day doing that. I did this for 10 years, trying to manage understanding the market's movements and staying consistent every day, following a schedule, journaling my trades, taking trades, trying to go back and look at the trades, figure out what patterns to look for. It's a headache and it's a mess. The problem with that is the market moves in milliseconds. Things happen so quickly. Retail traders, they chase lagging indicators. They're looking at EMAs and Bollinger Bands and different indicators that are lagging indicators that aren't real time indicators. Some people, out there, they follow signal services where people are just giving you a trade setup. That trade setup then has an entry and an exit. They take that trade and you just buy signals off of somebody. I created Sita, the self-improving trading agent. It is an AI agent that has multiple agents that work together to give you real context, real information, real economic events, base itself off trading data that is set in trade setups that are actually being taken. So think of Sita as your on desk quant team. It's a team of agents. What makes Sita different is it uses real time context. It doesn't use delayed candles. It doesn't use delayed data. It has a stream of live tick data from Nasdaq, CME Group, from all the future sources, and also brings in like high impact news events the moment they post with analysis on it. It observes and analyzes economic Fed calendars, price feeds from multiple symbols, and all the trade setups that you take are analyzed through an agent who is self-improving. So under the hood, Sita blends, auction market theory, smart money concepts. You can program it to have like ICT models where it's visually observing these ICT models in real time. And it prints plain English information for you. It shows you like where liquidity pools are, expected pullback zones, risk to reward, all in a single dashboard, all in a single screen. So let me give you guys a tour. So first, what you do is you come up here and you click capture charts. What this is going to do is it's going to capture all the charts that you have on your screen, so it can visually identify patterns, trade setups. It could look for liquidity zones. It could look for all the things that you could look for as a trader. Now, behind the screens, it's a self-learning engine. The way that it's programmed, it's a self-learning AI engine. So after every trade, Sita auto logs your screenshots. It auto logs the price movements over the past 24 hours and whether the target or stop was hit with these trade setups. And as time goes by, it logs this into a database and it retrains based on your actual results. So the playbook that it follows and the plays and trade setups that it's taking tightens itself over time. The more data you compile and the more you use it, it gets better and it improves on itself. So, um, you know, another thing that Sita offers is a built-in journal and a dashboard. So it's basically like logging everything automatically. You take trades based off of a percentage goal. So let me just show you a demo. So we captured the charts. It took the screenshot of all the charts that I'm looking at currently. And it also has price data from multiple charts and economic news events in the background. So we click on Analyze Markets. It uses the latest AI models, reasoning models, to observe the visual description of it and all of the agent information that was passed in on the back end. So like here, you'll see trade setup long, 72% likelihood. Trade setup short, 60% likelihood. So it gives you two ranging setups and two trending setups. Based on the likelihood percentage, this is the one that you're going to take. So let's say this one has 78%. That is the highest likelihood trade that we could take right now. So let's just take a look here. So entry zone is 19,946 to 19,950. So about a 3-point entry zone. The stop loss is 19,937 to 19,937, and the take profit is 19,980. So you're looking at about like a 11-point stop loss, and you're looking at about a take profit of 50 points or so. And the reason why is because it tells you here, this is a pullback into a 10-minute support. 19,946 liquidity score is 3, volume score is 3 with an active uptrend. Price remains above multi-time frame VWAPs, MACD histogram positive. 1.5 times ATR of the 10-minute stop is 9 points. That's what we're setting our stop as. With the risk to reward ratio of 3.5 times, which we're targeting fresh highs. That's what keeps the risk to reward attractive for this setup. And if you go down here, it'll show you the level selection. Levels come from the highest scoring liquidity and volume nodes and JSON support. 19,925 to 19,946, resistance to 19,957.70. Low volume node is 19,964, and the POC is 19,928. Consolidation extremes define range plays, while pullbacks to strong support and low volume nodes break, test, and power trend setup. So this will tell you like the invalidation setup. This will tell you how to manage the trade. So let's just look at what it has here. So let me pull up the actual chart and we'll take a look at it. So the trade setup that has the highest percentage is 19,946. So the entry zone would be here, 19,946. Take profit would be 19,980. So right above the highs. And the stop loss would be 19,937. I'm not going to take this trade because I'm already passed on this evaluation, but this is the levels that you would be looking at. So what is it saying? It's saying pull back into 10-minute support, 19,946. Liquidity score is 3 because we're right below these stops. So the entry zone would be occurring basically right now. And then it tells you like the reason why everything was selected. So when this trade is taken, the database is updated and it goes into an active state for this trade. That is then logged and the database checks what happened during that trade. So if this trade works out, the database will know in the back end and say, okay, this trade worked. We're going to keep this information for later. And we're going to use this to improve on our model. So let me show you guys what that looks like. So we'll go ahead and capture charts here again. This is going to go ahead and take a screenshot of what the charts look like at the moment. So it's running in the back end. Charts are captured. And then we could ask a question like, since we're right about at the entry point here, we can ask, for this trade, has the price movement validated the entry? Should I enter a buy order based off our analysis? So you could ask it the question, it's going to think for a little bit, it's going to gather all the data based off of that request, and then it's going to give you a response. This is using the most powerful models right now. It is a little bit delayed, like not delayed, but it'll take like a minute or two for it to process a full analysis, because in the background, it's looking up the data, it's comparing your recent trade setups, it's compiling like a ridiculous amount of information, more information than a human could ever compile. It's looking at comparing like trending and ranging setups. It's looking at recent price data. It's looking at economic news events. It's looking at how the market characteristics are at this point. It's looking at so much information that it's ridiculous, but it's compiling it and it's going to give us a set in stone answer based off of what it finds. So we'll just give this a second. So this is the dashboard here, Sita. You can always maximize this section here, self-improving trading agent. And here is a response. So you are asking whether the long idea from 19946 to 19950, stop loss 19937 to take profit 19980 is now validated by current price action. And therefore, whether you should place the buy order. And then it gives you, the plan was to buy a pullback into 19946. Price is now sitting in the middle of the entry box after tagging 19945. Step-by-step reasoning, very short term, 19945 sweeping the exact support and is now printing 19447.25. No bullish displacement candle yet. The 1 minute bar that tagged the level registered only 1x average volume, 67 contracts. We remain below intra-session VWAP 19956. Per your validation rules, a long should ideally launch only after the VWAP is reclaimed or at least when price begins to trade back above the rejection wick that formed the sweep at 19953. So we're looking at once we trade back above the rejection wick that formed the sweep at 19953, so right above 19954. And then this will give me the short term of what we look at for the last 15 to 30 minutes. So structure since the European Open is still a minor low high sequence. RSI is 44, EMA 9 just over EMA 21 is neutral. 30-minute is still inside yesterday's upper value area. The POC is 19928. So if you've never had to go and analyze a chart, you don't know how valuable this is. But if you have sat in front of a chart, looked at it, tried to figure out like what news events are going on, what other stuff is happening in other markets, the short term, the very short term, the higher time frames, you know, you're switching between different charts and you're looking at all this data and you compile it. This is doing all of that for you. And it's going through so much data that you could never do it yourself. And it's able to see what you see and not miss the things that you might miss. So, here's the trade recommendation. Stand aside for now. Don't execute immediately. What you need to see before committing is a 1 or 5 minute bullish engulfing displacement candle that closes above 19953. Then follow the original plan, half size on the confirmation candle close and a remainder on a shallow fair value gap retest. Stop stays at 19937. So to validate this trade, we got to wait until we trade back above 19953 with a engulfing candle, and then we could place the buy order. Why not execute right this second? So right now the 10-minute momentum and the VWAP are still against you, so probability currently less than 50%, does not match the 78% rating you assigned. Entering now would rely solely on location without the reaction part of the setup, making risk reward skew less favorable. So this gives you a step-by-step plan, and then once you're into the trade, you could also ask again, all right, this trade is working out so far. I'm about 20 points in profit. How should I handle the trade? Should I move my stop up? Should I move my stop down based on the current data? And it'll take all that information again, recompile it, reanalyze, call whatever agent it needs, and give you live data information. That's how powerful this is. And it's crazy because, you know, I've been doing this for 10 years, and having to do all this stuff and analyze on your own is ridiculous amount of work. And trying to do it every single day, you get fatigued and you start missing stuff, and you get used to trading a simple setup over and over again, and you start being complacent. And this here makes you basically a super trader because you have so much data that you can compile. So let me take you through what the app looks like. You go to charts, you can see we have this is not a charting platform, but this is, yesterday's trading day, and then the rest of what has traded in the overnight session for today, all the live data. You can see we have the gap for when the market closed, and then this is basically just a price data chart. If you go into history here, this will show you all the trade setups that have been taken by the model. And it shows you the live, range bound, trending setups that have been taken, how they played out, and what analysis was formed because of them. It'll also give you a trade session summary for every single day of the trades that you have taken, and you could also view the details here. Now, a very hard point that a lot of traders have to deal with is journaling, taking screenshots, writing a report on what they traded that day. Why did they take the trade? What characteristics did the trade have that made them want to take it? All of these things that a trader has to do every single day is done now through Sita automatically. No more sitting there journaling, no more trying to figure out what happened yesterday, what happened last week, what happened 2 weeks ago. This does it all for you automatically. So let's take a look here. Trading session summary for 2025-04-28. It says we took 25 total trades. Profitable trades were 10. Losing trades were 14. So the win rate was 40%, but since we have a higher risk to reward ratio, we had a total profit and loss of 200 points. So it gives you a summary. Trading day of April 28th consisted of 25 trades. Analysis identified multiple trading opportunities throughout the day. Key price levels were noted for trade executions, This gives you a session summary. And if you go into this section here, it gives you every trade setup and the reason why it was taken. And it gives you the outcome, and it gives you screenshots of what happened throughout those trades. So no more sitting there journaling. This does it all for you. It takes all that information, compiles it, puts it in the database. So even if you don't look at this journal, it already takes all of that into account for you and provides you with the best analysis without you having to do all the extra work. So it's pretty insane. Now, I know nothing really matters without result. Like, it's not really important if you don't have the results. So let me show you the results of the last month. This quant model has been trading this Apex account for the last month. If you guys don't know what Apex is, it's a prop firm. You pay them a little bit of money, about $150. They give you an account. If you pass the account by making $3,000 without losing $2,000 first, and you have to follow their rules, then they give you a live account. And that live account you can trade with live money. They provide you the money. Whatever you make on that account is what you get to keep for the first $20,000. And then they take 10% on top of it. So this Apex account just got hit $53,000. So it starts at 53,000 is the profit target. I hit the profit target based off of the trades taken by the model. Usually what I do is I just go through and I pick the highest probability trade setup. I take that trade and I just let it run through. I let the market do what it does. Set the take profit, take the stop loss. Sometimes in the middle of the trade I'll ask, hey, where should I move my stop? Or should I move my profit target, or how should I manage this trade? So let me show you what the monthly performance has been for this. You can see we started on April 7th. We went up to like $400, came down to negative 445. And then as you can see over, the 10th, 16th, we started building. We got up to about $1,500, $1,800, $2,200. We had a small dip back down to about $1,600, and then we pushed and hit the profit target of $3,013 by the end of the month. So $3,000, you could see the win percentage was about 51%, but since our risk to reward is 1 to 3, we've made significantly more money than we've lost. You can see the longest trade was about 2 hours. Average trade time is about 12 minutes. And yeah, the performance has worked over the past month. So this is the first month we're testing it, but since it is a self-improving trading model, it should get better and it should increase performance as time goes by. So yeah, other than that, I'm very impressed with the way that it's working. I'm very impressed with the data that it's able to come up with. I'm very impressed with the usability and how it makes your day and your trading day feel so much more. You feel so much more confident in your trades, knowing that you're basing everything off of real data. The model is finding all the data for you, compiling everything, and you're kind of just, you know, observing and supervising everything that's happening. So very excited to share this. Maybe if you guys are interested, I can allow you guys to use the beta model and help me test this out. And eventually, once it's released, the beta people, the people with the beta will still have access to it. So if you're interested, hit me up. And yeah, thanks for watching. Laters.